Good morning, my dear students. I hope you are doing fine today. This video is created for you to uh, be able to answer the activities in the weekly home learning plan as well as part of the augmented presentation for our blended learning. So, without much ado, let us begin. Our topic is all about illustrating a slope given 2 points, equations, and graphs. So, by the title itself, there are three ways in order to illustrate a slope. First is given 2 points, the second is by equation, and the third is graphs, using graphs. So, the first one, given 2 points, and the graphs are actually related. Okay, graphs can be presented when there are actually points, no? Para ma-visualize na to. So without much ado, let us first discuss the first one, the given 2 points in the graphs, and later on for the equation. So the basic concepts, no, in the topic. So a slope is a mathematical term. So in the world of mathematics, tawagon siya slope. But for other term, aside from slope, tawagon po na siya gradient. In engineering, especially for civil engineers, in constructing roads, importante ni nila. Seldom mo gamit sila og slope, but they are using the term gradient. No? So makasugat ganitag word nga slope or gradient, they are just synonymous. So what is a slope? So a slope or gradient is defined as the steepness of the line. Another, mao nang gitawag nato sa to ang Bisaya, no? Mga term na slanting, another term, English man eh. For Cebuano, deep Cebuano, old Cebuanos, they call this one as harag. Harag. Or gitawag po ni siya bakilid. Haragon, no? Kaharagon, man gitawag nila. And diri sa Ormo gitawag siya subidaon or sagkaon, no? Sagkaon, kasakaon. Pwede po siya padaunos. Basta kaharagon ay haragon ang agianan. By formal definition, this is described as the ratio of change in vertical distance. So when we say change in vertical distance, vertical axis, this is actually the y-axis, no? The vertical. So, ang word na change in symbolic mathematics, itawag na siya delta. Ay mo kalipong ana ha. When we say a triangle, tawag din siya change in the vertical distance. And since vertical distance, this represents the y-axis. So change in the y-axis is change in y or delta y. Between 2 points on the line to the change in horizontal distance between these points. Okay, so sabot pasabot, the change in y, the ratio between the change in y and change in x. And there must exist 2 points. O mo nang gikinahanglan, ang first nato is given 2 points. Kay actually by definition, magkinahanglan gitag duha ka points para makapakita taog kabaguhan sa change in y or change in x, no? The change in y is the change in the vertical distance, while the change in x is the change in the horizontal distance, which is found in the x-axis. So, kini siya can be simplified into rise over run, or mathematically, rise divided by run. Mana siya by fraction. So atong ipakita karon using graphs. So given a theorem, no? A slope or given, ningon siya, if the first point containing the first abscissa x of 1, comma, an ordinate, so a coordinate contains a value of x, tawgon siya abscissa, as well as the value of y, tawgon siya ordinate. So the first point, x of 1, kay primero nga x, and na y of 1. And the second point, x of 2, kay na ay value of x, y of 2, na ay value of y, are points on a line. Ang conclusion, then, slope m of the line is m is equals to the change of y divided by the change of x, which can be further written into the y of 2. Y of 2 is the second ordinate minus the first ordinate. The result of this subtraction is divided by the second value of the abscissa minus the first value of abscissa. Now, if you will be asking, sir, nga nung letter M man of all the letters? Trivia ni guys, before tayo mag-start. So, for mathematicians, they use the letter M because this letter M represents mountain. No? Mountain, bukid. So, makita na to ang slope actually in a mountain. Mo nang gigamit siya letter M. So, mo na ang mga mathematicians ni prefer nga para madali, may numduman na itong slope, we will use the letter M. Di na siya pwede ma-outro. M stands for mountain. So, ato yung ipakita ron ang iyang proof. Nakaingon man sila nga, ang change of y is y of 2 minus y of 1. Yung change in x is x of 2 minus x of 1. So, atong ipakita. So, using a Cartesian plane or xy plane or rectangular coordinate system na ay x-axis, na ay y-axis, yan ay origin, no? So, ang origin is always 0. However, walay gibutang nga number nga ri. Kaya as I said sa akong previous video, the distance could be scaled. Kamoy magbuot. So, pwede from 0 to 1, pwede po 0 to 100, 0 to 10, or 0 to 1 million. So, it's up to you. But let us leave as it is. No? Walay numbers. So, ningon ka ganina, in order to create a slope or illustrate a slope, there must be 2 points. The first point, granting mo ni, dotted color blue. This point contains the first value of x or abscissa. Gitawag siya x of 1. And it's also contain the y value or the ordinate, no? The y value na tungod ani sa x-axis. O niya ang tungod sa y-axis tungod. And tungod sa x-axis kining x of 1. Unya napay laing point para maka-create tag line. Okay na. So ningon ang geometry nga in order to create a line there must at least 2 points needed. No? So natay duha ka points. Ningon diri nga there are change in y. Asa man ang change in y? The change in the vertical distance. Vertical distance between the 2 points. Okay? From this point up to this point, there is a change in the vertical distance. As well as there is also a change in the horizontal distance. So, mao ni ang delta y, change in y, and then delta x from these points. And from this point, this is actually the slope. Mao ni ang ato gipakita. Ang iyang kasubidaon, no? Manigiingon na to kasagkaon. Now, by definition, ingon dire, mountain o slope is equal to rise over run. Unya, pwede nato ni siya masuwat into delta x, the ratio between the change in y and the change in x. Now, notice, let us discuss. The measurement of the delta y is this one, kining red, kini, ning primero. And how do we do that? So, from this point, ato ta mubalik ta sa origin. So, the first ordinate, ang gitason sa first ordinate is from origin up to this point. Kaya mo na yung height. Unya, ang height sa second ordinate, kining y of 2, from origin up to this point. So, ang pangutana, asay may mas taas? Si y of 2 or si y of 1? Siyempre, ang tubag ninyo ani sa nagtanaw, si y of 2. No? Gikan diri sa kuan ha sa origin sa 0, 0. Mas taas si y of 2. Now, ang pangutana is to get the distance of change in y. So, para makuha ni natong sukod, kini, since mas taas si y of 2, atong ibanan ni y of 1. Okay? Tanawa ha? So, kini nga sukod, ibanan ani nga sukod, ang resulta, mauning change in y. That is why ang permiro, the slope is the value of the second ordinate, y of 2, minus the value of the first ordinate y of 1 is equal to the change in y. Mao na ibot pasabot ana. Mao din ning nigawas ni. Divided by, okay, nga rin nata karon sa change in y. So, pareha gyapon diri. Kining primero nga point na ay value sa x, gitawag og x of 1. So, ang iyang distansya is from origin up to this point. Okay? Unya, kini nga point na aghapoy second value sa x nga ang distansya from 0 up to this point. So, the same ang pangutana, asa may mas taas. Siyempre, mas taas si x of 2 ang ikaduha nga x kaysa x of 1. Pero ang gipangutana is pilay sukod ni aning change in x. So, kini nga distansya, pareha ra ni ani nga distansya. Since mas taas man ni siya ang distansya sa x of 2, para makuha ni nato nga sukod, si x of 2, ibanan nato aning pirmero nga sukod sa x. Okay? So, kini nga tas-on, ibanan ani x of 1 will be equal to the change in x, which is the second value of the abscissa minus the first value of the abscissa is equal to the change in x. So, mao na ang but pasabot ana. Now, important notice lang ninyo guys. Important note. Hinumdumi gini. Nga, if the line is leaning towards the right, then the slope is positive. Binisayo na to. Kung ang linya padulong adto sa right, right ha, ang iyahang but pasabot ana, ang slope is always positive. Okay? Now, another. If the line is leaning towards the left, then the slope is negative. Left, negative. Right, positive. Ikatulo. If the line is parallel to the x-axis, then the slope is 0. Okay? And last but not the least, if the line is parallel to the y-axis, then the slope is undefined. So, I hope guys nga naamoy na bawaan ni ani nga to ang basic concept. Later of this day, after this, I will be sending to you the examples on how to apply the formula slope is equals to y of 2 minus y of 1 all over x of 2 minus x of 1. So, God bless us all and have a nice day.